Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 279 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. It's nice to be with you. Thanks for hanging out with me. So I heard a quote this last week from Jim Rohn, and it said, "Don't wish for things to be easier, wish for you to be better." Now, I think that is such a relatable statement because how many times do we wish something would be just easier? If you're like me, a lot. But as I've gotten older, I realize that things don't get easier. You just get better at handling them, or not. In episode 278, I talked about how we're constantly fighting our brain when we do things outside of our comfort zone. Now, I've been an avid exerciser for years, and I still find my brain giving me reasons not to work out every time almost. But now I don't entertain those thoughts anymore because I know I'm going to work out regardless. The benefits are just too good, but I still have them. So now I just basically kind of laugh them off because I know they're coming and I'm ready for them. We have this idea that we shouldn't have to struggle, that life should just be easy, but that would stunt all growth and we would all be soft and bored. Let's be real. Did you ever play Mario Brothers when you were young? I did. I loved it. But once I mastered that first level, I couldn't wait to get to the next level. By design, it's better for us for things to be hard because it challenges us. It makes us stronger. It makes us grow. Now, I could have stayed on that first level of Mario and continued to play it over and over because the result was guaranteed. I didn't have to struggle. I knew every jump I needed to make and where all those little gems were hidden. There was no doubt in my mind I could make it to the end. So there's a lot of confidence there because I'd done it over and over again. But how many of us are playing that way in our life right now? Maybe you're playing it safe, sticking to the things you know, not wanting to venture out because everything's predictable and easy. You do the same workout, drive the same route to work, see the same people day in and day out, go to the same place for vacation once a year. And we wonder why we're constantly wanting to distract ourselves with food and drinking and social media. We're bored. We're not challenged. We were designed to be challenged. There's just not a lot that excites me more than a good challenge. And I bet because you're listening to the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast that you feel the same way. That's why that quote don't wish for things to be easier, wish for you to be better, really resonates with me. It reminds me that things don't all of a sudden one day just start getting easy. I know sometimes we think that. But that's not how life works. And I used to think it would. I used to think in high school that life would be so much easier when I graduated. Or I thought, well, life would be easier when I get this job paying this much. Or even relationships. Those are going to get much easier as I get older. But it hasn't. Life doesn't get easier. You just get better at handling it. Or you don't, and then things start falling apart until you do. Because no one's coming to make it any easier. No one would even know how. Your life is being created by you as you make decisions. Isn't that interesting? Every decision you make is creating your life. And we all have this vision of how we thought our life would go. I mean, where we thought we would be at a certain age. But every decision is either bringing you closer to who you want to be or further away. So yeah, life is hard. But if it weren't, how would we grow? I think, too, in this world where it can be undeniably hard, there are those, though, that want to deny the hardship and just sort of think positively think their way out of it. And I'm an optimist. I want to focus on the good, and I can think of times where I've just pushed the bad away, not wanting to see it. But then guess what? A lot of times that backfires because that tough thing still happened. Whether you want to deal with it or not now or later, because it will come out at some point. Keep your focus on the positive, but don't forget to deal with the tough times head on. Don't bury them. Makes it worse later. That's why I try really hard to not ever imply that you can just put a happy face on things. Put a happy face on bad things and all of a sudden it'll be okay. I love how Esther Hicks always says it's like slapping a smiley face over your gas gauge so you don't have to see when it's on empty. Eventually, you're going to end up stranded. So no, I don't think that rah-rah, only think positive. I don't think that works. You can focus on good things, but when hard things happen, you got to deal with them. Dealing with that low gas gauge it now is easier than having to walk to a gas station or having to wait for someone to pick you up with a gas can because you avoided getting gas. My husband's going to laugh at that because I often let my gas get down too low, well, lower than he would like. So I'm preaching to myself here too. And I also have struggled with feeling my feelings, thinking that if I just smile, it'll go away. But you can be an optimist and still deal head on with the hard things in life. Think about the things in your life that you wish would be easier. Maybe your exercise, your nutrition, or your relationships. Maybe you wish being a parent or a partner or an employee or employer would be easier. And I'm going to sneak this in while I'm thinking about it. Life is hard enough. And we, a lot of times, will make life harder by comparing ourselves to someone else. That's the quickest way to get depressed that I can think of. A couple weeks ago, I was looking at an Instagram, and there was an Instagram model, and it sort of kind of made me feel bad about myself for a minute. Until I realized what I was doing, I was comparing my skin and my body to a 5'10", 27-year-old Instagram model. That is never going to turn out well. Don't compare your best to someone else's best. We make life a lot harder when we compare ourselves. So what does your best version look like? There was a story I love. A man with a small build asked his trainer how long it would take for him to have a physique like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the trainer's answer was so brilliant. He said, generations. It would take generations for your body to look like Arnold's because you aren't built like him. You see, he didn't have the body type for that. We weren't all built to look alike, just like we weren't all built to be a CEO or a pilot or even a mom. But guess what? That guy with the small body type, he can build as much muscle as his body will allow. We all have this one life and this one body. What can we do with that? If you're working your hardest and doing your best, then you know how good it feels. And only you know that. I know when I'm doing my best work, whether it's being the best wife or podcaster or sister or creating my healthiest body or my healthy mind. I know when I'm doing that because I feel amazing. And I'm not worried about what anyone else is doing because I'm happy for them, not envious. I know I'm doing my best. And I really, really know how good that feels. When I'm eating healthy food that nourishes my body, my skin, and my mind, I feel amazing. When I focus on the things that inspire and encourage me and others, I feel amazing. So yeah, that statement, don't wish for things to be easier, wish for you to be better. You know how things get easier? By doing them, by doing the hard things. How do we get better? By doing it, by doing the hard things and not letting the failures stop you, using those failures as a stepping stone to try again. Our primitive brain wants us to stay comfortable. Our intelligent brain knows that's a trap. Our primitive brain says there's no need to struggle. Our intelligent brain knows that's the only way we grow. I love the story of how the butterfly struggled to get out of the cocoon, builds its wings. If you take that struggle away, you take away its ability to fly. You don't think that was by design? Of course it was. We're designed the very same way. We think of struggle as a bad thing, but struggle is why any of us are here. The world was designed by struggle. If everything were easy, we would be soft and bored. Some of you maybe can see examples of that in children who were coddled. What happens when they have to enter the real world? It's a huge struggle. But you're not going to get away from the struggle. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. So don't wish for your workout to get easier. Look forward to when you get so strong that what once was hard is now easy. That's how you get better. And don't wish for the thoughts to go away that tell you you aren't good enough or any of those negative thoughts. They're not going anywhere. They're going to still pop up. Just look forward to the time when you know they're coming and you're strong enough to keep going anyway. That's how you get better. And when you do that and you challenge yourself to keep going to the next level, knowing and expecting it to be hard, but also knowing that just like the Mario game, you never mastered that first level on your first try. Most people didn't anyway. Maybe it even took you 10 times to try to beat that first level. You don't automatically think that just because you beat that first level, the second level will be easier. No, you know it's going to be harder, but you do it anyway. Apply that same effort to every area of your life. When you're struggling with something, the first thing I would want to know is it just your primitive brain trying to keep you in your comfort zone? Be prepared for that because it's sneaky. But if it really is a struggle, is why you're doing it worth it? Maybe you know it'll make you a better mom or wife, or maybe it makes you a better person. That why will help you overcome struggle every time if it's big enough. And finally, how can you look at that struggle in a different way? Knowing when you get on the other side of the struggle, and you will, you know life didn't get easier. You got stronger. Stronger in a way that will help you in every single area of your life. My challenge to you for this week is that every time you find yourself wishing for things to be easier, instead ask yourself, how can I be better? Share this episode with 3 people, and don't forget to subscribe and go leave a 5-star review if you're loving the episodes. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.